Hi, everybody. This is Dan with BVS Film Productions, and we're here with our next episode of CommTALK. And we have our guest, which is a guest and also, I don't know, what are you? What are you here? You've been here forever with us.
These podcasts.
Yeah, this is Eddie Tomecko.
I make these things happen on the technical side.
Right, and you're also the owner of Audio Works, which is inside our studio. Many of you probably don't know that we have a full-service recording studio, full digital recording studio here in our facility.
We do.
Eddie runs it, he owns it, and he's part of the collaboration that we have here. So that's why you're here, man. We just want to
BVS
talk
Audio
about
Works.
There we go.
It's like
perfect.
It's like a marriage, technical marriage.
Then I want to go back a little bit. When we first hooked up on this stuff, we were working off your ex-wife's, which was your wife at the time, her living room table.
Oh, when
doing
we were
editing.
doing the video
Remember
editing. Yeah.
That was how long ago? 10 years ago?
10 years probably.
Oh, my God. That was funny.
20, probably 13, 14, 11 maybe years.
Yeah.
12. We got a new year coming up.
That's right. I'll never forget that. Working off the table, and you had that dog. I think you had a dog then, too.
Had the dog.
That was something. So
it was
and look where we are now. We got a beautiful facility.
German Shepherd.
Yeah.
Beretta.
Yeah.
Yeah, those were the days. Going farther back is when we first met.
That's right.
You came in to do a band demo.
Yes.
With your wedding band.
Yes.
Which you're
many
still in.
years ago.
And we're talking in 2008,
right,
9 or something like that.
Long time ago.
Then I ended up doing a video for it, and you're like, "Hey, do you do corporate video?" And I said,
"Sure, look at this camera."
Yes, wow. We had big cameras.
Yeah,
we had sore neck, shoulders.
Yes,
but here we are now. We're doing our thing. We're still doing it.
Right, 10,000 square feet here in. Where are we? We're in North Olmsted.
North Olmsted, yeah.
We've got all these studios here. We got,
closer
podcasts.
to home.
Yeah.
Closer to a lot of people.
Right.
480 is the connection. It's great. Business is good.
Yeah.
It's going to get better in 2025.
Right. So the main focus of today is to talk about your studio and what it's about and how people can access this. And if you're a musician, which I know almost everybody on the planet's a musician, and you want to come in and record and do some really cool stuff, this is the place to do it.
It's the place to record. Want to know why?
Why?
Efficiency.
Yes.
I'm very efficient. Mm-hmm. When I work with a band, whether it's a new band or a band I've been working with for years, all I ask them to do is come in prepared.
Yeah.
Saves time, i.e. saves money. Okay?
Same thing with video, right?
Yeah.
Same stinking thing with video.
You work quickly, efficiently. We've done this over and over again, so we can we can knock things out. People don't have to wait. You don't have to wait for any type of, we got to do this, plug it in. Band shows up, more than half the time, they can use my studio kit, which is right behind us.
Right.
It's mic'd up, it's ready to go.
Yeah, for those of you listening, it is a kit here.
There's a kit.
Yeah.
There's a kit behind us. So that helps. And again, most importantly is if the band is prepared, they know what they're going to play.
Yeah.
We do several takes of a song. If it's an album, we definitely do several takes of a song. If it's like a tribute band or a band that does cover music and it's a combination of an audio recording and a video promo.
Yeah.
Okay, which we do. We've done 50, 60 of those already. And bands get gigs with it. They're professional, they work.
I could totally attribute, I can attest to this because we just did a little thing in the studio for my son's wedding. It was just a little short, I don't know, 30-second, 1 minute video, maybe 2 minutes.
I think it was a minute and a half.
Yeah, and we kicked that out in like 2 hours. And it was just, you were so efficient what you were doing. I was like, wow. And it sounded great. So
everybody knew what their job was.
Yes. That helps.
You work with professionals, okay? Yeah. Even semi-professionals learn how to be efficient in the studio.
Yes.
Studios in town, in any town, are expensive. Everything's expensive now. My rates are extremely competitive.
Very good.
Some people say you should charge more. I'm like, well, come back.
Yeah.
And then I'll make more money. When you come back, that's when I make more money. So,
well, speaking of which,
I love doing it.
Who are some of the people? You really got a plethora of people that you work with on such a high level as musicians. Can you name a few of who they would be?
No. Elvis. Bruce Springsteen.
No, there's some other ones that are really famous.
I've worked with on the local level that were actually famous after they became famous and had music on the radio, and they were the big thing. Was a group called Bone Thugs and Harmony.
A lot of people heard of them.
They did their records, I think, in L.A. probably.
Yep. Yeah.
And through another client of mine that I was working with, a producer, one night he called me up. He said, "Hey, do you want to work with Bone Thugs and Harmony?" And I'll be honest, I was recording a lot of rock music, so I'm like, who are they?
Yeah.
So then I learned who they were, and this was before like internet was big.
Yeah, right.
Internet was there. I don't think I looked them up, but I might have reached out to my niece, and I said, "Hey, I got the opportunity to skip going to the Indians game to work with this Bone Thugs and Harmony. They were going to start working on solo albums.
Yeah, right.
On their they had their own label they formed.
Now they were local to Cleveland.
They're Cleveland dudes. Yeah.
Oh boy, you hear about them all over the place back in the day, right?
They were great. I mean, they had had their own sound. Man, they were really good. But so yeah, long story short, I took that session and started a working relationship with them, and we worked on some stuff. A lot of the stuff never got finished because they got called away. Right as soon as we started, they got a call from Mariah Carey's producer and said, "We wanted you guys to be on one of her songs."
Yeah.
From that point on, then they were gone.
Yeah.
You know, which hey, it was a cool experience.
Yeah, sure.
You know.
Now you also had Todd Rundgren in. Well,
Todd Rundgren, yeah, not a recording client, but at the time we had a studio. I had a partner in a building, and we each had our own studios.
Yeah.
And we. My brother calls me up. He says, Todd Rundgren's looking for a place to rehearse for his upcoming tour.
Now, this is your brother in L.A.?
No, this is my brother in Parma at the time.
How did he know?
He's friends with Todd's son, Randy.
Oh.
And the connection was made right there. And I called Todd's manager and told her about the studio. I said, I moved my location to a bigger location, which suited them much better. They had a semi come and drop off everything.
It was awesome. I got a chance to see it. Both Alex and I went.
You were there.
The whole back line there. Everything was going, man.
Huge,
it was great.
Huge. It was a professional setup, and they had top-notch musicians. I got to meet quite a few cool people.
I was drooling over those guitars. I'm like,
oh yeah. Very cool. He had a cool collection there, and met Prairie Prince, who's the drummer from the Tubes. Greg Hawkes, keyboardist from the Cars. Yeah. Super great guys. We still talk sometimes. Yeah. It's been years, but we still stay in touch.
Well, it was funny. I was bringing my son Alex with me to go see them when you were there, and I didn't want to go in the back door because I was thinking they were practicing back there. So I went around the front of the building, and all of a sudden I hear, "Wouldn't have made any difference" in 4-part harmony, and I'm like, could they be right here? And I knocked on the door, and he came to the door, and I didn't even know it was him. I was like, "Can I see Eddie?"
They were rehearsing their harmony parts in the control room.
That was pretty cool.
Yeah, those were good times.
Sorry to interrupt. Didn't mean to interrupt.
No, he didn't care.
Yeah. No, he was cool.
Fine.
He was very cool.
Fine, but we had fun, almost had the opportunity to work on some music for Al Jarreau. Yeah, with a producer. Cool. Maybe some of the songs we did record found its way to him. I'm not sure. I didn't follow up on that. But I did record 3 gospel songs, gospel tracks for Gladys Knight.
Oh, nice.
And she uses these tracks for her live performances she does in Vegas. And I had Leon Turner, her musical director, on keys, Elijah Gilmore on drums, and Joey Green was her longtime bass player. 3 Cleveland guys. Yeah. Backing up Grammy award-winning Gladys Knight.
Wow, that's amazing.
You call them the new Pips, but
Too funny.
I don't think they go by that anymore. But that was a great opportunity. Talked to her on the phone. She says, the tracks sound great, Eddie.
Perfect. Perfect.
So,
yeah.
Very nice. Very
Awesome.
nice stuff.
Awesome.
But,
So, all right. Tell us what constitutes a good recording for all the musicians out there that are thinking, "Hey, man, I want to get in the studio," and what is the structure behind it?
Well, I think what helps is everything before the microphone.
Okay.
In an old school terminology.
Okay.
What that means is you could make a beautiful recording of a bad song, and all you have is a bad song, just recorded well. Okay,
yeah.
so number one, keep writing songs.
Mm-hmm.
Beg, borrow, steal ideas from your favorite music.
Yeah.
Culminate it into your own kind of sound, which is what movies are made of.
Right.
Television shows are made of.
Yeah.
Music is no different, so you do that. On a technical level, it helps to have good working equipment. It doesn't have to
No
be
buzzing.
the most expensive. What's that?
No buzzing.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you want noise in there. You can clean up noise, but why start with noise?
Yeah, good point.
And again, efficiency.
Yeah.
You're coming in to record. It's your time, your money.
Yeah.
It's the engineer and studio's time. Okay, so everybody wants to get the job done.
Right.
At least that should be the mindset.
Yeah.
Get the job done. Do it right. Take your time sometime to get it right, but don't mull over it.
Yeah. Now you've been in studios where they milk it, right? We've all been in studios where they milk it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's sad.
It's
Work
a
on the
business.
snare drum for 2 hours.
There's guys that do that.
Yeah.
4 hours on a tom.
Come on.
Okay.
Yeah.
You gonna hit that tom in the song? Okay.
Yeah.
Tune it.
Done.
Hit it. I mean,
Yeah.
come on, 4 hours is a long time to spend on one drum.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know why you would do that.
Yeah.
But basically, start with good instruments.
Mm-hmm.
Good, decent microphones are inexpensive now.
Mm-hmm.
It's just everybody's recording.
Yeah.
A lot of people are recording at home, which is cool. A lot of people record at home, and guess what? They bring the tracks in here, and we finish it.
Yeah.
We do live drum tracks. You can't do live drums in your bedroom.
Right.
So that was something that we always would bring in other people's tracks.
And you use like a click track, right?
Yeah, click
stay
track
with a click
helps.
track.
That'll help the studio drummer follow along with the song and stay in time, obviously.
So for those who don't know what a click track is, what exactly is that?
Oh, click track. It's basically a metronome sound. It's embedded in your song.
click,
It's just a click. Some people like it faster. Some people like it slower.
Yeah.
Quarter notes, eighth notes. Depends on what the song dictates. Do we need to play a faster beat? And some drummers like to hear 8 counts in a measure.
It's
That way they
funny
can-
how many people, musicians, can't play with a click track.
Oh, of course.
It shocked me, even in my church band, because when you're playing live, they do a click track in the church
Oh,
bands.
live.
And boy, if they
It's
can't,
all
it starts with the drummer too. If
It's
the
a
guy can't do, the drummer can't do a click
Yeah,
track.
you've got people
issues.
playing to backing tracks.
Yeah.
They may have a full band up there, but there's still so much sound that they want to give the audience that
Yes.
everything has to be. Plus, their lighting is synced to all that music.
Exactly.
So everything is accounted for.
Yeah.
In the studio, it's great to have a click track. Makes my job
Yes.
as an editor easy. Oh, we like the second chorus better than the first chorus. Well, if
Yep.
it's played loose without a click track, you're going to hear it speed up or slow down. So having that kind of solid backing track type thing, you're good.
So how many musicians that come into your facility use a click track?
How many
How many that come in here? How many?
that are familiar with it and,
Yeah,
and used
how
to
many
using
use
it?
it? Yeah.
75 to 80%.
Okay, all right. So
It's
that's pretty good.
becoming a better thing now. It's a tool, and it's something that will help your timing overall.
Yeah.
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 I know Dave Grohl from Foo Fighters hated using a click track for Nirvana.
Really? Wow.
It kept him contained. He didn't like that. Eventually, he learned how to use it. I
Yeah,
don't know
you
if he
stay in the
uses it now,
pocket.
but-
You just stay in the pocket if you can. That's cool.
Yeah, but rock and roll is a feel.
Yeah. Yeah.
What I don't like doing is recording one part at a time to a click track. How is that a band playing their music together? It's not. I'm adamant about at least drums, bass, guitar, playing a rhythm track together on a record.
Yeah.
Get the feel of the three of you guys playing, or girls. A lot of girls in the game now too.
Yeah.
So then we build on it.
Right.
Play like you can. Number one, it sounds better. I promise you. Number two, it saves time.
And you get the energy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then you could just make it big.
Yeah.
Make it big. Get that rhythm track, do a bunch of takes till you find the right take. Again, with a click track, we can assemble take 1, take 6, take 4, different parts of it. Just make a good sounding record.
And in the digital studio, it's not like the old days where you had to, cut off the drums, move everything around.
Right,
you can. It all just goes into the board.
Right. This is a comfortable place. It's new.
It's very cool.
About a year old for me.
Yeah.
Here,
No,
we use it
every day.
Use it. BVS uses it. AudioWorks uses it.
So one other thing I want to talk about is post-production and some of the cool things that are happening now, AI and, things we can do now that we couldn't do a year ago. Noise reduction, pulling backgrounds out.
Yeah. There's you could take a bad recording of a vocal and you can, through AI, make it sound like it was recorded in a professional studio.
Yeah.
To some degree, pretty close. Some things are a little too far gone.
Yeah.
As we learn, like, you've got too much reverb in a live recording in the back of a room.
Yeah.
We've tried with AI and stuff like that to fix that, but that's pretty tough.
It is.
That's pretty tough.
It came pretty close. I was listening to a lot of the stuff we brought, and it was usable.
Right.
But it wasn't amazing, but it was usable.
Right. Imagine starting with...
And I know the project you're thinking about.
Yeah,
right.
You know what I'm talking about.
Exactly.
We've done that. We tried.
Right.
It was just, that was a tricky fix, but...
Client was happy.
So something worked out with it, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But it's modern technology.
Yeah.
I used to be an analog tape guy.
Yeah.
I used to want to push faders. You know what? When less and less people are doing that, you got to kind of stay with what's happening.
Yeah,
so
right.
I got into using Pro Tools, which a lot of people use, when it was called Sound Tools.
Wow.
Before it was called Pro Tools.
How long ago was that?
Early stage, 91.
Wow.
First studio in town to have a Pro Tools recording setup.
Wow.
Still had tape, still had the VHS, so I had ADAT tapes, and did a lot of that using different things. Because Pro Tools in its infancy was not a multi-track recorder. It was a stereo recorder.
Oh, I remember that.
You can make editing.
Yeah.
You can cut songs, piece them together, all that kind of stuff. So I cut my teeth on that technology of cutting waveforms and building songs and stuff like that. But then, I think Pro Tools 2 or 3 offered 8 tracks of recording, multi-track. Beatles only used 8 tracks on their biggest records. So,
which goes back to that point. It's what you put on the recording.
Exactly.
Is important.
You got to be efficient. Now, I bet you those sessions took some time, but guess what?
They had amazing songs.
They were worth it. The songs are incredible. So, but nowadays you can get the job done fast.
Yeah.
People always say, "Hey, we finished our record under budget working with AudioWorks." That makes me feel great.
Yeah.
I don't need to take all their money. Save your money.
You'd rather have a customer forever.
Come back.
Yes.
And it's all referral. Referral. I don't advertise. I'm advertising right now by talking on your podcast.
There you go.
But really, it's been referrals and word of mouth and repeat customers and
the two go together, video and the audio end of it, because there's music videos that you've done that BVS has helped with, and there's videos that we do and use your expertise for audio to tie in certain things. So it's a good working relationship, and I think there's a lot of potential that's going to be coming out of it this next year.
I see it even better this upcoming year.
Yeah, me too.
Got a lot of stuff going on. Having the studios centralized.
It's all now one location. Everything you got. How many tracks would you say you could record here? Infinite.
It's unlimited.
Unlimited recording.
Basically.
We've got the facility here. We've got green screen. We've got a whole sound stage in the back. We've got podcast studios, engineering, all in one location, and that really makes a big difference.
Yeah,
it really does.
I think it's our time.
Yes.
It's
Very
our
good.
time.
And you know what? Even with AI, I have found, everybody's saying, well, it's going to take over. I don't think it's going to take over for a while in this field because you still have people that want to play guitars. You still have people that write
I'm relying
music.
on them.
Yeah,
exclusively.
It will augment it. It will help the editing process,
Right.
but I don't think it's going to replace it anytime soon.
No, I know you can, on your phone, record a song.
Yeah.
Probably a potential hit song because they're taking information from hit music.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You can't sing? Don't worry. It'll record your voice and make you sing. Okay.
Yeah.
That's a novelty to me. That doesn't impress me.
Yeah.
AI impresses me to the point that its quickness.
It's a convenience. I mean,
It's a convenience.
yesterday we had a customer that had a podcast and he needed one line reread.
Yeah.
Because he missed a spot in there. We had to make it fit right. And we were debating on having him send us a Zoom recording. And, my son Alex works here and he just says, well, why don't we just make the voice, right?
Recreated his
We
voice.
just recreate it. However, on that note, I emailed the customer first and said, this is an ethical thing.
Right, yeah.
Should we do this or do that? And he says, make the AI me. So I'm like, great, we did it.
I think
And
it comes down to time.
It sounded perfect.
Like
That's
you
what
said,
shocked me.
convenience.
Yeah.
Convenience. Yeah. Yeah. Any AI program now that writes songs can write somebody's song.
Yeah.
How do you feel when it did it for you?
I've listened to those songs. I remember a couple of them that he was playing in the other room, and they sound like Journey, parts of Journey songs.
Yeah, of course.
And they weren't, they weren't great. I mean, I'd say they were good.
Yeah.
But they sounded robotic, and they sounded like they were just literally piecing from other songs, and that's just not.
I've heard them too, and just not a fan.
Not there yet. Maybe it'll get better, but I
mean,
I don't know.
Eventually it'll get there, but it's still the same premise. Real people aren't writing music. They're not being creative.
They still want to
Nobody
come in the
wants to be
studio.
not creative.
Right.
If you are born a musician, you are not going to do anything like AI to create music.
Right.
You may have it create a backing track if you just play guitar and use that tool.
Yeah.
But, I would recommend you find 3 other guys that can learn that AI designed song and then figure the part out, come in the studio, any studio, your own studio, and make it yourself.
Yeah.
Be organic.
Yeah. And I think podcasts is the same way. I mean, how do you reproduce 2 people talking like this? You can do it, but it's not the same energy.
They've done it.
Yeah, and they
I've
have
heard
done it. They have done it, absolutely.
Alex showed me that.
Yeah.
And I'm like, these people are having a legit conversation, but
it's not people.
it's entertainment at that point.
It is. It's not life experiences.
Right.
And that's why, that's one reason that we are continuing to go into the podcast world, because we know that that's going to be interesting for people and for businesses too, not just for, and that ties in with the audio. It ties in with everything, in the video end of it as well.
It's going to peak and then it's going to be blasé.
Yeah.
That's
and
my
then
guess.
on to the next thing. Probably holographs. Who knows? Yeah.
Next thing is we go back to writing songs in a basement.
Yes, basement bands.
It should be.
Back in the day.
And guys are still doing it, and girls are still doing that.
Yeah.
And trust me, I've had my share of amazing original music.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? The only thing these original songs don't have behind it is money.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, thank God for the internet, Spotify, YouTube, all that stuff. You can get your music out there.
Well, that's
spend a little money to push it.
We've been introduced to a pretty famous producer that through one of our customers.
Yeah.
So I mean, we have it in there somewhere. If we ever find a song that we want to do, this guy's produced
I
30
think he would be
platinum albums.
open to accepting demos.
I think so.
I
mean,
through
he's
our
got
connection.
the ear of the guy that's doing a podcast with us, which I think is fantastic. So, and
I
he's a
think
great
that would
guy.
that would be a really good opportunity for a lot of people.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. So, and between that and some of the marketing capabilities we have at BVS Film Productions, any band or even a record label that would want to come to us and say, "Hey, we've got this new band. We'd like to package them and produce them and get their material out through social media."
Right.
I mean, that's something I think we could really.
What can we do for them? We can help create their music. If they need production assistance, okay, we could record it, obviously, distribute it, make promotional everything, promotional music videos, promotional ads. We can do. It's a one-stop shop.
Right.
It's a one-stop shop, and I think more people need to know about it so we can help them.
Yeah,
and that's what I want to do.
Yeah, we all want to have.
What I do with music.
It's fun. It's fun doing this as a musician. It's fun being that part of it. But so in closing, what do we want to tell some of the musicians out there that want to get started? So like, I never did a recording before, or maybe maybe a guy that's a CEO of a company that I always wanted to get back into.
I would say get little computer program that you can record. Get familiar with the process.
Yeah.
At home.
Yes.
Take your time, make mistakes, figure stuff out. Okay? You want to make the investment that I made and other studios in town have made and build your own studio? God bless you.
Yeah.
It was expensive. Expensive journey.
Well,
because equipment comes and goes.
Yes.
Technology changes that.
Yes, it does rapidly.
I have less equipment now than I did in the past.
Yeah.
Okay? And it's more than I need.
Yes.
So, things get smaller, things get easier to use. The Pro Tools is a godsend to me. It's a great format. It's a great format. You know why? I use it as a tape deck.
Yeah.
I put good sounds into it. And then I manipulate it inside the computer like I would if I was turning knobs.
Yeah.
Okay? And then boom. That's how I represent the music I record. So
yeah, it's cool.
I think it's good.
And the other thing I think is if someone comes in, or let's say someone wants to be a musician, and they've been in the the business world for a long time, and they forgot what it was like to do it. Just start with one song. Just grab a song, try it, get back into the game. Just get back into it. I always found it as a great release, emotional release.
Yeah,
to be able. There's nothing like when you're done playing anywhere or on a stage or anywhere, and the feeling you get afterwards. Right. It's a high that you can't get anywhere else. And we both can attest to.
And multi-track recording allows people to play a lot of parts themselves and do that. I've got artists that do basically their whole album. Right. They'll bring in a guy on drums. They'll bring in a guy on bass guitar or something. Yeah. Just, hey, would you play a little bit on this? And there's a lot of guys in town that merge on records.
Well, the other thing is, if someone comes in here and they need a bass player, you could probably find somebody or play it yourself, right?
Yeah. Oh,
or any one of us could probably ask us, hey, can you come in and play?
I do a lot more producing bands and like singers these days.
Yeah.
Love recording a full band that already has their music together. But I can play everything on their record.
Right.
And I will bring in a studio quality drummer that feels the music and is easy to get along with, that kind of thing. But I'll put everything else in there for them. If they're a songwriter and all they know how to do is sing and convey an idea, I have over 100 songs that I've done just that for.
Yes,
in my career.
I've heard many that you say, "Hey, I'm playing bass on that." Hey,
and
I'm playing
guitar. A lot of it's good.
Yeah, I've heard them, man.
The original ideas that come from the artist inspire me to make a good song for them, and I've done it, and I'll continue doing it.
Very cool.
Until I retire.
That's right.
Which will be never.
That's what I say. So anyway, all right. Well, Eddie, thanks for being on the show.
My pleasure.
We look forward to seeing everybody at our next episode. And have a great evening. And if you're a musician, jam, man.
Jam. Write your songs. Keep it organic.
Right on. Take care.